Hey guys, Fire here from InDepth Gaming, bringing you another game review. This time we're checking out Pico Racers. Pico Racers is developed by Josep Monzoyas Hernandez. I hope I didn't butcher the name too bad. And published by Jandusoft. And is available for $4.99 on the Xbox Store. It is currently available for pre-order and set to release on April 29th, 2022. So depending on when you watch this video, it may or may not already be released. Now, I do want to note that there's already a pretty similar game like this on the Xbox made by the exact same developer called Retro Pixel Racers. We kind of covered it on the channel a little while back, so this probably isn't going to be a super extensive review considering these games are almost carbon copies of themselves, just different tracks. Now, the main premise is you have different series. We'll start from the beginning and just kind of show you some stuff here on this account. You'll get various cars that you can choose from that all have kind of different little attributes. And the way the game works is you gas, brake, steer, drift, boost to kind of get around tracks. And it's kind of like a retro arcade style bit system kind of game would be my best way to kind of describe it. You control your car, establish your drifts, and your goal is to finish the races. As well as races, the game also is accompanied with different little challenges, whether it's drift challenges, which I don't think was available in Pico Racers. I could be mistaken. And then you're also going to have time challenges where you have to finish races in X amount of time, obviously. And that realistically is kind of the gist of the game. All you're really going to do is add in additional difficulty when it comes to tracks and cars that you play against and the different series that you are playing in while in the game. But outside of that, there's not really much beyond that to really talk about with Pico Racers. The controls are very fluid. It can be a little hard to get used to if you never grew up playing, what was it, probably like the original Grand Theft Auto back when it was on like, you know, I want to say it was on Game Boy, but I know it wasn't. But the original Grand Theft Auto had like top-down style driving and racing, and that's kind of how the game worked. And this is very much how that game feels, minus running over pedestrians and citizens over and over. And then what you're introduced then is just different events that you have to complete. Now the game's going to ask you and be pretty demanding when it comes to the achievements, where you'll need to do certain races without ever using boost. Tons of day and night tracks, and just varying levels of difficulty as the game progresses. Now, personally, one of my favorites is just a little bit of a different alteration. I don't really remember there being like figure eight style racetracks, and especially someone who grew up in the country and loves this kind of stuff. And I guess I did mention that I had everything except for running over pedestrians, and there I just ran somebody over. So I guess the game did kind of meet everything I wanted. It kind of gives you like a weird little nostalgia trip. It's a pretty simple game. It's just going to take more skill than anything when it comes to mastering how this game works, setting up your timing and your boosts and everything. Controls are super simple once you kind of get the hang of it. The hardest thing you're going to have to try to master is the drifting, and that I think will just take time and, you know, just patience and experiences. Overall, the visuals for the game, you know, there's nothing too overly top to discuss about. The soundtrack kind of gives you that like retro vibe and feel. But you know, it's a simple pixel racer style game, and that's kind of delivering exactly what it kind of promises to right up front for the game. I think overall, if I had to recommend buy Sailor Pass, you know, this is kind of one of those like, if you like these kind of games, definitely worth picking up. But for me, I would buy one, either Micro Pico Racers or Retro Pixel Racers. I wouldn't buy both of them. I don't think you need to own both unless you just really love this style of game. But I do think, nonetheless, though, they are fun and something a little different to bring onto the console. With that said, if you do pick up Micro Pico Racers, or maybe you played Retro Pixel Racers, please let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you agree with me, have a differing opinion. You know, I'd love to hear what you think. If you did enjoy this video, I'd appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. And as always, if you aren't subscribed, you know, we'd love to have you join the community. Outside of that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time.